Gotta love that sound. Hi guys, I'm Stephy Steph and this is Bobby, and we are Between Two Teeth.
That's right, we're Between Two Teeth.
Hi there, Bobby. What are we talking about today?
I don't have a clue because you wouldn't tell me what we're talking about today. So what are we getting into?
I gotta check something out. Very
Sounds
cool.
lovely.
I had to erase something real quick. Now I'm ready to go with my next idea. So we have a new adventure coming up, and it is it's going to be in Machu Picchu.
In my life, sometimes I don't fully think through things.
I think you should have to be able to spell Machu Picchu correctly before.
It's an M and a P, I think. I'm just going to call it
But how
MP.
many C's?
A lot. Or one. I don't know.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
actually two, I think.
So we committed.
You need to learn how to spell Machu
How many
Picchu.
hours ago? Like 4 or 5 hours ago that we're going to do the Inca Trail. It's a lead up to doing what we're doing at the ADA annual session.
I'm excited about this because I know that so many people have talked about kind of the spiritual journey going up to Machu Picchu. And I am excited that we've also decided to do kind of an overnight backpacking style adventure.
It's many nights. It's not just overnight. It's many nights.
Right, over many nights.
Yeah. Well, it's like a far distance. It's like...
So what's the limitations on weight for these backpacks?
5 kilograms.
5 kilograms? Are
5
you kidding
kg.
me?
Oh, sorry. I didn't understand. You're not metric, so I don't even know what that is. Like 12 pounds or something like that. 13 pounds.
Like, something like that.
So you are... Oh, sorry. Am I keeping you awake there? This is YouTube. People can literally see. They just saw your airway. I think you're a Malampati 1. Inside joke. There we go. Anyways, so we committed to that's how I'm going to be looking during day 2.
We're excited about this because it's a guided trip, I believe.
Have you researched this at all?
I find that the most spiritual awakening happens from not being in total control of something.
What has served you well? And I wish I could do it. And one of the magical things about you is that you will go into things with an attitude of, oh yeah, we got this. This is no problem.
It's probably the height of my ego. And if I was a little bit more humble, I would plan more.
There's ego involved. And
the part of me that is pretty cocksure that I'm going to be able to handle anything that comes over the ridge. That's like just my essence. And
we're going to have to capture some of this. You're going to have to subscribe to our channel so you can follow the adventure when we have some of the footage.
Part of humbling myself, which I might experience on Machu Picchu, is
listen. Okay, go.
Is to figure out how to start planning a little bit more, because part of the reason I've planned my entire life, and now I know my entire life means something different from your entire life. But my entire life...
Well, we're all on our own journeys.
I have been planning and following a plan and following the set plan.
Yeah, well, stop being binary. It's like this way or this way. There's somewhere in between.
Yeah, but usually you overcorrect first.
Yeah.
And if you've ever... Yeah,
I'm a planner. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, serves me well and serves me poorly.
I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I wasn't a planner at some point in my life. I have been an over planner, borderline robotic, and I am learning how much joy one can have when they don't necessarily plan everything. You got to plan something. Something you got to plan out.
And, especially if you're in a dangerous area or, weather gets to be an issue. You and I ride motorcycles and weather gets to be kind of a big deal there.
Bob has 2 favorite motivations. One is weather and what
I do
the
love
weather
the weather.
Is going to do.
If I had to come back in life.
If you see him at SmileCon, know that he wants to discuss the forecast.
Forecast, yes.
If you go up to Bobby at SmileCon, say, Bobby, what's the weather look like?
So
lean into that conversation.
I will lean into that. So Machu Picchu, it's over 40 kilometers. The problem is, you're in shape. Yes, you were number 1 at a certain distance at a certain time in your life in the state of Texas.
Unimportant.
Yes. Unimportant, but yeah. I'm not a runner. Who knew? I'm not a runner. And altitude is a great equalizer. That's what I'm scared of. Once we signed up for it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I I got to start doing stairs like a lot. And I've been working out for the past year and a half, really, but I haven't pushed myself.
It's okay.
And I've done a daily thing where, don't laugh, I'm going to watch your face. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see Steph's face, but on podcast, you can't see what Steffi Steph is doing. I haven't pushed myself. And sometimes I get on a treadmill and it's hard to do more than 12 minutes or 15 minutes. I got 5 weeks to get ready for this thing. And I'm a little bit nervous about that.
Oh, I mean, maybe, yeah. I guess I just have such a different mentality with it. When we signed up for this,
You're
I'm
not
like,
scared of athletic things. You're
no,
like, I'm an athlete. I'm not scared.
Because then you were saying there's multiple trails. I'm like, gosh, I hope you signed up for the longest.
Yeah, we
most
did the
arduous.
longest. You know, you'd
Because
be
why
like,
else would
seriously?
you go?
Yeah,
you
I
want
know.
the max. Like, you want the max spiritual kind of enlightenment.
So if you weren't coming on the trip, I'm not sure I'd take the max.
You'd probably take the trolley.
We were trying to do a motorcycle adventure. Here's the rub. Last September, this same time, last year, that's why it's called Last September.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
No, I'm not looking at anything.
So
I discover new details about you every day.
We went to Italy on a motorcycle adventure.
Yeah.
I literally gained like 16, 17 pounds over like 3 weeks. We were on a motorcycle, but we walked 6 miles a day, but ate 6 times a day.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Machu Picchu will be a little bit of a different kind of thing, because I need something to push me. Frankly, I need something to scare me or something to train for. I just hope 5 weeks is enough time to do it.
We'll let you know.
Tell me about the spiritual side of this, because I haven't really looked at that a lot. I haven't thought about that. Where are you coming from there?
I've heard stories that the sunrise at Machu Picchu is kind of equivalent to a spiritual awakening. I think we can find connection with the earth and have that kind of be a little bit of a spiritual awakening. And so I would imagine that people who make this journey, if they have a higher belief, maybe they experience that higher belief on the top of that mountain. Is Machu Picchu a mountain?
I don't think so. So we haven't planned it out that well.
I don't want to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
And I don't really want to say it's a settlement. It's like something that's in the mountains that was a very important spiritual place, I think, to the Incas. I need to do some, I like to plan and do research on these things.
I'm going to push Bob to say don't read anything about it and just ask people on the way up, hey, what is this again?
What's this thing? No, I don't want to just seem like that touristy person.
No, I think it helps.
Here's where I'm going to push you a little bit. The research is pretty clear in that if you take a vacation, there are health benefits to that. And we'll say mostly mental health benefits. There's also an advantage if you think back about a trip that you went on. And that's where having photo albums, videos, one of the great things about social media is that like 1 year reminder thing or whatever that is. However, there is good evidence in planning something like this is supposed to bring you joy. It didn't bring me joy today because there was like
I don't think it's brought
pieces.
You joy.
It actually frustrated me.
I'm actually excited.
Who's going to cover the practice? We got to get someone to cover the practice. We got to figure out what we're doing staff-wise. What are we going to do with staff? She's like, we'll be fine. Unfortunately, we're in Chicago. We were supposed to fly back and then get on a plane here. You actually had a brilliant idea. You're like, let's just bail on our flight from Chicago to Dallas and just fly from Chicago to Lima, Peru.
Yeah, why not?
Genius. You come up with good ideas.
I appreciate that. I'll take that.
Will you take that under advisement or no? Yeah. This is where having two people, you and I think differently at times.
We think very differently at times. And also, timing is everything in life. I'd hate for the message here to be, I'm so laissez-faire and I have never planned anything in my life and I'm where I'm at by just luck. And although some of that is true, I am not that person. I'm actually a hyper planner. I'm a perfectionist at the very core. But I've found myself in the last few years in a spot where It's been nice just to be laissez-faire about a lot of things.
That has helped me out because I need to see that. I need to hear those messages. Now, when you were
I'm normally you, and it's
oh,
instructive.
bless you get to see what you're like.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack at age 40. No
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah,
I don't
do
think
that.
so.
And what I would say, when we did the Ukraine mission trip,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of planning that went into place for that,
Mm-hmm.
and you handled a lot of that load, but I was doing some trips on the back end, and I'm like, you know what, Steph's right, I'm not going to over plan certain things. What it meant was I kind of missed being able to get a train because I didn't realize it was like a national holiday the day I'm trying to get a train. There's no train spots.
Yeah.
Ended up having to do different things, and the different things worked out better. Isn't that the way life goes? Who knew?
Yeah. I mean,
The universe has a plan.
Right now, I'm just at a spot in life where I am enjoying and leaning into this, just the space and opportunities that, you just don't know what you're getting into, and that's okay.
And that terrifies me.
It's not necessarily great for running a practice. I'm not talking about running a practice.
Right.
What I'm talking about is life stuff outside the office, maybe. When you go on vacation, I know there's always a planner, but it's also nice, or I should say yes, and it's also nice to have space for adventure.
Freedom.
And the unexpected agency, yes.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Now,
It's nice calling it's nice calling the shots. And so we take Bob and I are in an improv class, and one of the things we talked about today was having pauses and the dramatic pause. And it's more than dramatic pause, it can be very impactful and it can change a scene. So, for instance, and I'm going to ask Bobby here for some space and grace, basically just don't say anything.
Oh my gosh.
If I said I did something and I let the pause happen. In that space, you're giving your audience a chance in their head to imagine what in the world might I have done, or what have they done that they want to get off their chest when they're talking to someone else, versus if I say I did something and then Bob quickly fires back, what did you do? And it doesn't allow people to really become invested, and your message gets watered down because you're creating a height of a scene right at the start versus I did something. Wait. And then Bob might go, oh my goodness, what did you do? And it allows the scene to build slowly versus having rapid back and forth, almost like an argument already. Calm people, talk slowly. So I say that because as we kind of talk about just improv and the, nice existence of a space, sometimes it's nice to improvise, have adventures, because it gives people a space to be creative. And so when you're on an adventure, you're on a journey, sometimes having no plan gives you space and opportunity to have the best kind of adventure. Would you agree?
Oh, I could say so. I agree with that. And sometimes not having a plan causes a really bad problem. But most of the time it
We'll be
doesn't.
here all week.
Yeah, but most of the time it doesn't. Back to this Machu Picchu Inca Trail adventure.
We're not sure if we're going to be on a mountain or if we're climbing
involved.
up a stone surface.
Here's the dealio. Altitude is a big deal. And if anyone has any input, put it in the comments as far as, like, I think I got to start getting that mask thing that you wear that
you can
helps
do like
out
altitude.
with that. So I thought we were going to fly into Lima for a couple days early. I have one of my chums that's down there that we're going to try to reach out to. I thought that was at like 10, 11,000 feet, but it's like 500 feet elevation. It's like Dallas.
So we're not going to be able to acclimate.
So we're not acclimating in Lima.
Can we go up? We're going to start planning.
Well, we're busy.
Go up earlier?
We're in Chicago.
No. I hear you. But instead of spending a couple days in Lima, maybe we go and spend a couple days at the base of Machu Picchu, whether that's a mountain or a stone structure. I'm not sure.
And the planning part says we actually, the group leaves from Lima. So, yes. So we got to get one of those suffocating face
Maybe we could just do motorcycles
things
for a couple days in Lima. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be pretty good.
It's actually pretty neat.
But where was I going with that?
Creative juices.
I don't know. Here. So I'm nervous about it, but fitness
conquers fears.
I've been working out for a year and a half. I haven't been seeing results.
Are you running yet?
I'm doing 0.25,
6
Listen,
miles.
I've got terrible running form. If I didn't have headphones on right now, I'd run and show you an example of my poor form.
Oh, here, let's make it happen.
Okay,
let's make it happen.
Stop.
Let's make it happen.
You were a college runner. You've got running form. Quite frankly, I would be served well running if I was 50 pounds lighter. Part of what we're doing, and we're doing it over on Instagram, is we're going to be showing kind of our own kind of well-being.
Us in the biz
journey.
call it the gram.
The gram. Okay, the gram. Trying to go on a journey, and part of that is just to show and crank things up. Frankly, both of us, I think, have been working on things as far as how to live our best lives. Okay, sleep. Got to get better sleep. Nutrition, figuring out what's going to work, and what works for you nutritionally is not going to work for me.
I have had
exercise
so much fun having a laissez-faire approach to life, whether that's nutrition, which I'm not advocating for, other than
you're not advocating for nutrition.
Life is a balance. Sometimes it stresses you out trying to be perfect. I would say progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
And I would say if you have healthy boundaries for yourself, try to ride that out. Only reason I talk about this is because I've been where you're at.
Yeah. Well, and as a college athlete, that's a whole different level.
I know what it's like to know every calorie that goes in your mouth, to know that you have to have a patterned eating schedule. Otherwise, it doesn't work. I know what it's like to have a specific time to go to bed, specifically how many hours of sleep.
Okay, let's not dig into a tunnel on that.
Oh, I'm not trying to dig. I'm just saying I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to express why I'm at a laissez-faire life, because it's not that I'm lazy.
No, and by necessity, you had to be highly regimented. And I guess where I'm coming from is it has not served me well. What are you laughing at? What?
You said these microphones pick up like everything.
Yeah, they do pick up everything.
I'm just noticing I'm going to see if they pick something up at like around 17 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you guys will have to rewind and go back to 17 minutes.
17 minutes.
But figuring out what's going to work well for you. I love what you said, progress, not perfection. I have that on a sticky note on my computer at the office. Progress, not perfection.
And I'm not advocating for a poor work ethic. You have to be a dog after what you want in life. And I would not say don't go after it with every cell in your body, but don't care about everything.
So part of what we do with Between Two Teeth is to push people to do certain things.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. It is hard to arrange a trip to Machu Picchu and go on the Inca Trail when you're in private practice and you both work together as the only surgeons in the practice, and you've got to get someone to cover it. You got to figure out what you're going to do with staff. We have a conference, a wellness summit with the American
Summit.
Well-being.
Bob's a key opinion leader.
Yeah. And so I'm
speaking. For well-being.
So here's the challenge.
And stress management.
Okay. We're speaking Friday. And then Saturday, we're flying out of Chicago to Peru.
Great. I'm excited. It'll be a great adventure.
It will. But here's what I'm worried about.
I think we're going to go to an improv class while we're there, or go to an improv show.
We're going to go to an improv show, Second City. But here's my challenge.
How much fun is all that?
No, but so I gotta have dress clothes that I would be carrying up the mountains no mountain of Machu Picchu.
We have buddies in Chicago. We're going to be right back over there. We're going to
I don't know if I'm going to trust them.
Dr. Valberti is going to take our clothes.
I don't know if I'm going to trust her with my blazer and my dress shoes.
We've got friends in Chicago.
I know.
Dr. Colmia offered his office up for just storing whatever stuff we needed.
He's never offered me
I think we're going to be fine.
At all. After trying to send him cookies.
Yeah, I
because
think we're going to be good. I think at a wellness conference, people are going to be very well-intentioned.
So this is going to be my push is I want you to say, Bobby, stop worrying about that.
I would love
it's all going to work out.
would love the ADA building to house our between two teeth jackets until we can pick them up again.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Well,
that's part of the other reason
Is that part of the problem?
That's part of the problem.
Are we going to be back in Chicago though?
I don't know. We're going to be in Chicago. We're literally in Chicago 4 times in the next 2 months.
So we need to look at the calendar because if we are back, then I'll just pick them up.
We're getting off track here.
No, we're problem solving. This is good stuff.
But okay. So Peru, going on something different. I'm going to ask a question, and then I want a strategic pause. For our listeners, what is it that you really want to do as far as going somewhere or taking some time to do something? What is it that you really want to do and you're not doing? Yeah, I think that was an effective pause.
Right. So I'm going to answer the question.
Oh, okay.
To read back what you said is you're asking, what do you need to do that you're not doing?
What do you want to do? I said want versus, and maybe it's,
right.
I don't know, want, need.
I think I'm living out what I want to do right now, which is to loosen up the bounds, to have less of such a type A, just, very ordered lifestyle. And it's so cool because I've had people that have reached out to me, and the one thing that they tell me, no matter kind of when I had met them at whatever point in my life, is that they're like, Steph, you are living your best life. I love it. I don't know how you're doing it, but that's awesome that you are getting to maximize that. And part of that is, us kind of going on these adventures, having someone who plans them for sure. But part of that is us going, why not? Let's try it out. Let's see what happens.
I'm super jealous, by the way, of that. Because I get people send me kind of hate letters.
Oh, I think that's the exception, not the rule. I know people reach out to
But I don't have a lot of people saying, oh my gosh. And I'm not asking for people, although that'd be nice. You put some comments below.
So Bob gets a lot of support.
Yeah, but I'm always impressed with, and we talked about this on a previous episode, where I think you do a great job at creating a safe space. And people feel comfortable reaching out to you in a variety of ways. And that is good on them. That is good on you that you allow that space to happen.
I think I'm finally getting to a point in my life where you have your friends that and I say friends, but the people you knew when you were in 8th grade, they've got jobs, they've got kids. Some of them have been through divorces, and it's crazy cool how the last time you saw someone was when they were 14 years old, and you guys are in your 30s now, and you've got a whole lifetime of stuff that's happened in between, and just connecting with a childhood friend. And, gosh, the power. We talk about well-being, man. I wish I could bottle that feeling up, that positivity, that energy, because it's just magical.
It's a neat feeling having connections that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I think both of us have been in situations where more recent kind of friendships turned into acquaintances or turned into just unhealthy kind of spaces. And you got to make, we always talk about connection. Sometimes you got to unconnect.
Yeah, that detachment.
Yeah,
thank you for detachment.
The visual. Oh, thanks.
What it's taught me too about life and relationships is that you never know who's going to pop up back in your life. And it is, I really can't tell you the energy and positivity that can have when you look back, because when you see that person, you experience all the good stuff from around that time period again. And it's just, man, it's magic.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push our listeners. If you're listening to this right now, I was going to say push pause, but if they literally pushed pause, then they wouldn't hear what I was going to say. But call someone,
I would say
from the past.
direct message on Instagram.
No, stop.
I wouldn't call.
No.
Personally,
Call.
I don't think I would pick up the phone.
If you got a rotary phone at home. Do you know what a rotary phone is?
Isn't it the one that rotated?
Yeah, it's like that. It was actually super fun. Have you ever dialed a rotary phone?
Call your grandma, but if you're on Instagram, send a message to someone that you maybe knew as a kid and say, hey, love what you're doing.
And I'm kind of agreeing, because sometimes that freaks people out.
Can you imagine like calling someone you knew in 8th grade as like a 30-something-year-old and just saying, sup? Like no other like predetermined factors.
It's not terrible to do that, but whatever way you feel is effective. Like well, maybe they're not millennials.
Millennials stopped calling each other when text messages became a thing.
You're not wrong. And you don't have to send a long one, but I push you and encourage you. Did I say hit the pause? Are they listening, or are we just talking for no reason? I don't think I said pause yet, other than to say pause, but don't pause.
No,
I
think it's
send
funny.
A message. Send it like, hey man, just thinking about the times we had many years ago.
If you don't have
hope you're doing well.
Like
period.
I have a list of people that I will pick up the phone and call. Like just
like you. Wow.
Like, and it's a short list. It's not because I hate the people I don't call. It's just that's another level. Like that, it really is. It's like, are we call buddies? Like, or is this a text only line?
I don't understand your generation.
No, of course. Like again, you have to dissociate this from business. I'm not talking about business.
No, we're talking
business relationships. Yeah. I'm talking about like, everything outside of the business realm.
Texting is easy. I get it. But here's what we want you to do. Whatever form of communication you think is appropriate for you, we want you to hit the pause. I keep saying the pause the wrong time. Just, anyways, go do it. Send the message, pause the video, and then come back on. Okay, now they're back. Do you think anyone actually did that? Afterwards. Anyways, just do it. Here's one of the things you and I talk about a lot, and that's why I've been so encouraged by a couple of the messages and the DMs that you've had from our listeners is we all think good thoughts. We all think bad thoughts too at times, but we all think a lot of good thoughts. But how many of the good thoughts do you actually say to people? And it can be something that you never know the message that some people really need to hear. You don't know the difference your smile makes. You don't know the difference of you saying to someone, hey, you did a really good job with that. We don't know, but just get out there and say it.
Yeah, I mean, delivering positivity is a big deal. And it's not, I mean, you hear that message now and you're like, oh, yeah, I would do that. But in the moment, it's kind of tough. Sometimes it's tough to tell someone something as simple as, hey, I like your shoes. Because you think it and you're just like, all right. You don't think that it's worth their time to hear that. But what you don't realize is that same person may have had their partner just rail into them about how ugly they are. Or you might have had, say they just had their mom die or something. And a stranger saying their shoes look nice could be the difference in their day.
If you work with patients like we do, one of the quickest ways that I have found to develop rapport with a patient is to compliment them. If you think their shoes are cool, you go, oh man, I like your shoes.
Gotta say it.
They are, it distracts, it works their mirror neurons in their brain.
But also someone dressed themselves this morning and there's something personal in what you're wearing and expressive. And even if you didn't put too much thought into it, maybe the message won't be as well received, but there's a lot of people that put a lot of thought into what they put on before they go out the door. Yeah.
Back to the Inca Trail. If you have done that trail or have a favorite type of hiking footwear, we want to hear about it in the comment section.
We'd love to do it.
Now, I've ordered new Altras.
It's Ultras. It's,
but why is it spelled with an A?
I have no idea. But the
foot drop, 0 foot drop, 0 -5 foot drop, foot drop, Ultra.
It's 0 degree foot drop. There's 0 millimeters. There's no heel to toe drop.
We are not sponsored by Ultra. And I think once they see the videos of me doing so well on the Inca Trail, I think there's a sponsorship deal in the works.
Well, guys, you've heard it here. We're gonna meet you on the Incan Trail. And
Did you say Incan? How'd you say that again?
Incan?
No, it's not Incan. Not
What is
like
it?
Lincoln.
It's Inca.
Inca.
So the Incans,
INCA.
it's only Incas. It's not Incans.
No, it's well.
We don't even know if it's a
know.
mountain.
We don't
okay?
even.
So
we don't know if it's a mountain.
we're not the experts on this.
We
but
are going to find out.
It's been awesome being a part of the journey with you guys today. And Bobby, do you have anything else before we wrap up?
Hit subscribe, follow the adventure, see if I can make it up to Machu Picchu on this hike.
And also check in along the way. We're going to be doing some well-being moments, and we are so excited to connect with you guys in a real
way, authentic way.
Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm Stephy Steph. This is Bobby, and this is Between Two Teeth.
Thanks, guys.